Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Luis Chavez. I'm a photographer and filmmaker based out of Southern California, and this is another episode of my series on my favorite photos of the month. This is for the month of October, and so I'm back on my set. I figure this is a little bit better space since I have everything up here, and I'll just use my iPad to kind of go over the photos, and I'll show you as I kind of talk through what I was thinking when I took the photo. Okay, so here we go. So this first photo was taken in Pasadena earlier this month. We were scouting out locations for some shoots that we were doing later in the month. So we came across this, I think it's an apartment complex, and these nice arches kind of frame the security guard here and the plants and everything, and then this green door here for the emergency exit. I thought it was pretty interesting. So for this month, I tried to be a little more mindful of the photos that I take. So I try to frame them more than just taking a photo, because that's what I was trying to do with my personal work, just taking photos of things that look interesting right in the moment. But I was trying to be more mindful of just not just seeing an interesting shot, but also framing it in a way that it looks interesting to me. So I thought this was a pretty interesting frame because it puts the focus on what I want, and then it also makes everything around it look a little bit more interesting. This next photo is also from Pasadena. We were in City Hall, I believe, and I thought that was really cool the way that the light was spilling through these arches here into this family who I believe was also doing some type of photo shoot there. It's pretty popular here in the area, Pasadena, California. So we were there and I thought it was pretty cool. I wish there was a little bit centered in the frame, but I wanted to kind of compose this more of in a square format. So I framed it so when I went back into Lightroom, I would just make it into a square edit. And I thought it turned out pretty good. So this next photo is of this church in Laverne, California. I thought the banner here was pretty interesting, and the way that the sun is hitting the church at the same time, I thought that was pretty cool. And you know, I like buildings that are surrounded by greens. So whenever I see something like that, I want to take a photo of it. And I thought that was pretty interesting because you don't really usually see this stuff together. So I thought it was a pretty interesting take. This next photo is also in Laverne. Laverne apparently has this house that's pretty well known to decorate for Halloween every year. So we saw the way that they were decorating this year, and it was for The Night Before Christmas. I don't know if everybody's familiar with that movie, but I thought it was pretty cool that people were still, you know, decorating their homes for Halloween, even though it's a little bit different this week or this year. So yeah, this family really went all out with their decorations. So I wanted to just take a quick photo of their house without being intrusive. So this is a picture of the home. They have like these jack-o'-lanterns hanging from the tree, so they look like they're floating, and you know, references from the movie. As you can see here, Jack is in the background of this photo, and yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. And then I didn't really frame it very well, so you wouldn't be able to tell that Oogie Boogie is also in here. I don't remember this movie as much as I used to when I was a teenager, but you know, I get the reference. So I thought it was pretty interesting that this family went all out to decorate for Halloween. And so I want to take another photo of this house, but I want it to be a little bit more. I wanted to frame it a little bit nicer, so I took a little bit of time to kind of see something that was interesting to me without it just being the house. So I think when I was thinking of taking this photo, I just wanted something that was interesting that caught my eye, and that was the lanterns that were actually hanging out from the tree. So I took a photo of these lanterns, and when I took it, I thought this will look great in black and white. So I'm glad that it looks the way that it looks, because I'm pretty proud of it. I think it looks, you know, kind of spooky, but also inviting, because you know they're jack-o'-lanterns, so it's not that frightening. So I think it was pretty cool that they took the extra time to put stuff onto the trees to kind of have some depth in their house. So I thought it was really interesting the way that they decorated everything, because everything looked very mindful, and I thought specifically the lanterns on the tree looked really cool. This next photo is more of the classic Luis photos, because it's just houses. So like I said, I wanted to be more mindful this month about the photos that I take. So even if it's the same subjects that I took photos of in previous month, I wanted to like frame them a little bit different. So I tried to put more depth in the framing that I do. So I saw this building, and I kind of wanted to frame it around trees that it had in the front yard. So I thought it came out pretty nicely. The way that these branches are kind of making a natural frame around this building, I thought it was pretty interesting. And the way that this photo ended up in the editing room, I thought it was pretty cool. The way that the greens kind of just punch up the contrast in this scene. This photo is in Claremont, California as well. This is this new museum that they built, but they never opened because of COVID and everything. So I always walk by it, and it's really nice looking because it's brand new. And so I want to take a couple photos of this new building, and I thought it was pretty interesting because it's all made out of, concrete, and then with some like wooden and steel beams all over the place. So I thought that was really interesting. So I wanted to frame it with some plants and stuff. So there was these palm trees that are kind of outside of the actual building. So I thought it was pretty cool to see the contrast between the two. So I wanted to take a shot of that. So this next shot is also in Claremont. And like I said, I don't usually go out to multiple cities in different states all the time. For September, it was a little different because we were on vacation in Colorado. So a lot of my photos reflected that, especially because I took a lot of landscapes. But on month to month, I usually don't travel more than a few cities over. So most of the time I'm in Claremont. So I wanted to take photos, or challenge myself to take photos that, even though it's in the same places that I always go to just take different photos and frame them a little different. So that was the challenge I gave myself this month, to just kind of find interesting shots and frame them in ways that I usually wouldn't. And so hopefully it reflects the photos that I'm showing this month. But yeah, this is one of them. This is of this guy who was walking on the street, and I thought the light was really nice here with the way that it was spilling into this tree, and again creating a natural looking frame. Hopefully, kind of with the sidewalk and the tree kind of framing this guy in the middle here. And this photo was taken with a Prognus filter, so it kind of has even more dreamlike highlights here. So I thought it was pretty cool. This frame is from one of the schools around the area. So this area has a lot of like pretty interesting architecture, but it's closed because there's no school for the colleges. So this is one of the walkways that leads into one of the bigger buildings in the area. So I thought that it was cool because like I said, I like to compose for square sometimes. And this was a perfect example because there was like a square inside of a square. So I thought the light was spilling nicely into this trash can here. So I thought it was pretty cool, and I want to take a photo of it. This photo is also in Claremont. Since it's October, a lot of people like to decorate, and especially in this town, they get really into it. So sometimes they have window displays, specifically in this one shop. I don't remember the name of the shop, but they always do it. And so they had this nice these nice flowers with these Day of the Dead dolls kind of in the center. So I thought it was pretty cool with all the twinkling lights inside of the building and outside of the building, kind of reflecting back and forth on this window. It's a little busy, but I think it's pretty cool. I tried to get the least amount of glare in the photo as possible, but I still think it's a pretty interesting photo. This photo was also taken in Claremont, and again, I've been trying to frame things a little bit better, or a little bit different than I usually do. So I've been experimenting with different framing. This is just a straight on frame, and I wanted to get some depth, so I took a couple steps back behind some trees so I can get some trees in there, and I thought it was pretty nice because it's kind of dreamy because I have the Prognus filter. So, and with the leading lines on the concrete here, I thought it was pretty interesting and pretty cool. This photo was taken at the end of the month. Like I said, we're close to well, by the time this is released, it's after Halloween. So happy Halloween. So this is one of the homes that likes to decorate for Halloween. This is more simple decorations, but I thought they were pretty nice, especially since a lot of people in this area like to decorate their homes, and a lot of people have these little ghosts. And so yeah, I thought it was a pretty interesting photo. This is a picture of this home in Claremont again, with all these. This has been up for a long time, so I want to take a photo of it because you can see here that the papers are kind of are getting old because of the sun is hitting them all the time. So they're pretty faded, but I believe that this sign is pretty new, and with everything that's happening in the world, I thought it was pretty powerful to have, especially in front of your home. It really shows what people stand for, and I really appreciated that it was front and center of this home, and I thought it was pretty nice. This photo I took in the car. We were on the freeway, and the light was like a little spooky because we had a lot of fires in this nearby. So You can't tell too much from this photo, but it kind of made all of Southern California feel very spooky and very like, I don't know, menacing, or I don't know, very dark. So I want to take a photo of it because it looked pretty cool. And so I wanted to wait for the right moment. So I actually took this not by accident, but it was framed better than I thought it was. So I was able to get this nice frame within the frame because we're going under an overpass or whatever, over under, either one. We were going under an overpass, and I shot it with the front of the car in the shot, so it kind of creates this frame in the middle and kind of makes the photo feel like it's widescreen, and I really enjoyed it. So this was a happy accident, and I'm glad I took it. This photo is early in the morning. I'm trying to take earlier morning walks now that it's getting warmer, but it doesn't always work out. So this was like I think around 9 a.m. and this is the post office in Claremont. Like I said, this town has really nice architecture, and so this was taken, I believe, about a week ago. So with the election and everything happening soon, there's a lot of stuff happening throughout town. So it was pretty busy, but I was lucky enough to get the shot of just the building here with this gentleman, I believe he was getting his mail, and then this lady sitting on this bench here, and I thought it was pretty interesting. This photo is of a restaurant that is closed, I believe. They're opening up a lot of restaurants lately, but this is one of the restaurants here in Claremont. So like I said, I want to get more photos that kind of are kind of stacked a little bit. So I took this photo through this glass, and the focus is on this frame of this family. I don't know if it's a family business, but I thought it was an interesting frame here. So with the light spilling into this to this window and to this back wall, I thought it was pretty cool. So this next photo is of this building in Claremont. This is actually a pizza place. I've never been there, but the pizza always looks so good, but I've never actually tried it. And yeah, I like the way that the sun is hitting this building, and with the trees and everything, with all these lines kind of guiding your eye a little bit towards the building. I thought it was pretty nice. So this month, as I've been saying, I challenged myself to kind of do these stack frames, and I wanted to do one with more like greens and less of like buildings. So I found this statue of this guy who I believe is being taught how to play an instrument. I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but I thought it was pretty nice the way that the light was hitting it. So I tried to get some stuff in the foreground just to give it a little bit of depth, and I thought it came out pretty nice. So for this next frame, like I said, the election's coming up, and by the time you're watching this, whether or not I posted before or after the election, we'll see. But since the big thing in October was pushing people to vote, I want to get a frame of that without actually like invading people's privacy when they're voting and stuff. So as I was walking down the street, I saw that one of the ballot boxes was nearby. So I took a quick shot of it from, pretty far away, just to kind of, in case anybody was going to vote or anything, I wasn't impeding that. So I thought it was pretty nice the way that this boxes was set here, and with the shadows on one side and the light on the other. I thought it was pretty nice. This is a picture of my dog. If you're familiar with the channel, you're familiar with my dog Luna. So like I said, I'll take a lot of these photos because we take Luna for multiple walks a day, because she's a mini Australian Shepherd, so she constantly wants to go for a walk. So a lot of these photos are because we're out and about anyway. So I always like to get a photo of Luna as much as I can. So this is a picture of her down the street, and I thought the light was pretty nice with Luna being backlit here. As you can see, she's lit pretty nicely from the back. And so yeah, I would just like to take pictures of my dog as much as possible, and here's another one. I'm pretty proud of this one actually, because I saw this and I didn't know if it was going to turn out great or not, but I saw these lines kind of going all over the place, and I thought, well, it's not a photo I would normally take, but I'm trying to challenge myself this time, or this month. So I took this photo, and I'm pretty happy the way it turned out. It's of this alleyway, I believe. It's between these two homes, and there's a fence that kind of ends here, and another fence begins, and then a back fence with a hoop in the back. So I thought it was pretty cool the way that these lines kind of guide your eye towards the hoop. I'm not the tallest person in the world, so I wish I had a little bit more height here so I can get the hoop a little bit nicer framed, but I thought it was pretty cool and not a photo I would normally take, but I was pretty proud to take this photo. This picture is in Laverne as well. So this is, I believe, one of their fire stations. And so I walk by this all the time, and I'm always trying to get this fire truck as it comes out, but it never happens when I'm walking by. But I saw they were working on the fire truck, so I was gonna take a picture of this, and then this buggy pulled up. And so I thought it was perfect because you get a little bit of pop of red on the left and a little pop of red on the right, and it kind of frames this building nicely. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of the shot. I only took a couple photos on Halloween actually. I'm not big on Halloween usually, and especially this year, we're not doing anything big. We just kind of stayed at home and did our daily walk down the street in Claremont. But that was really interesting. A lot of people were out and about, and people were still kind of in the spirit. So there's this, I don't know, this person who was in a bird costume, kind of flapping their wings at people every now and then. And I wasn't able to get a shot of them actually with their wings spread out, but I thought it was a pretty interesting frame here because it was this couple, which to this day, I don't know if they're an old couple or not, but they were wearing these masks, and they're kind of reacting to this person on a bird costume. So it was it's a very random scene of two very random costumes coming together at once. So I thought it was pretty interesting, so I took a photo of that. This photo is of, actually this is pretty interesting because I didn't even know this was here, even though I'm here all the time. There's a record shop here on the left where this lady is standing. This is the back end of a record shop here in Claremont called Rhino Records, and which I get some of my records from, as you can see here in my back shelf. So I'm there quite often, just walking down the street, and then I always forget that there's a video store down the street or connected to it. So every time I see it, I forget that it's there, and so I thought it was pretty funny, and I just kind of wanted to remember the fact that it's so random that there's this video store that's pretty popular still apparently, because there's a lot of people going in and out. I haven't used the video store in like a decade, so it's pretty interesting to see because this photo looks like it was taken maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, but it was just on Halloween night in 2020. So it was pretty nice, and so I want to take a photo of that. So the last photo I'm going to talk about is also of this home in Claremont. I took this one earlier in the month, but I almost forgot to put it in here. So like I said, I'm composing some of these photos like in a square format, just as a personal preference. I took this photo of this ghost that was hung up on this house. And so I thought it was really interesting because the picture is pretty bright and it's very, very green, which is not usually associated with Halloween. Halloween is usually the yellows and the oranges and stuff. So I thought it was a pretty interesting shot to kind of have like something that's associated with Halloween, such as ghosts, and something that's more summery with the greens or spring. So yeah, I was pretty proud of this photo. It's a little busy, but I think it's pretty cool. So I was pretty proud to take this photo as well. Again, this month I was just at home. I did not do any travel plans or anything like that. So I wanted to make sure that I took photos from my everyday life that was kind of interesting. So for people out there who are watching this and who are interested in taking like street photography or just taking more photos on their daily life, don't get discouraged that there's not a lot going on, because especially with the pandemic and everything, there's not as much going on as usual. But it's a good practice to just kind of bring your camera everywhere and just take photos that are interesting to you and that you enjoy taking, and not so much photos that you think other people might like. So all these photos, I really like taking these photos, and even though they're not the most amazing photos out there, I'm proud to take these photos, and I'm glad that I can look back on this month and have this set of frames that I took for the month. So again, thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a like, and if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe for more videos. I have a couple more videos in the works. The next video that I'm making, I believe, is going to be the way I edit my photos. That's been highly requested, so I'm pretty excited to make that. So stay tuned for that. And other than that, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.